words of Bing Crosby, it's the most wonderful time of the year because it's Choose Tap finals time in the Eastern Football League across Divisions 2, 3 and 4. And, of course, the final round in Division 1. One more week of that great competition to go. And joining me to have a look at all things finals across the Eastern Football League is the Frosty one, Peter Baird. You must be a very excited man, Frosty.
Oh, I'm very excited, Benny. It's that finals time of the year, Choose Tap finals time. Yes. It's the time when hopes and dreams are realised and champions are made.
Well, champions are made, and some champions could be made at South Croydon because they had a pretty good weekend last weekend. Not only did they beat Blackburn very convincingly, but they were handed a lifeline by the Roval Football Club, while East Ringwood certainly made it difficult for Roval to get into the final series now after East Ringwood beat Roval and South Croydon back into that fifth spot.
Oh, as we saw, East Ringwood have opened the door for South Croydon, and they marched through it in style. They had a very convincing win. They've gone back into that top five. They're a huge chance now to play finals in Division 1 for the first time in their history. So all credit to the Bulldogs. That they were absolutely fantastic on the weekend. And who knows, a chance to participate in the finals beckons for them.
It certainly does beckon for them. I think a lot of not neutral, but the South Croydon Footy Club, I think, is a lot of people's second favourite team. And I think a lot of them, I don't know if you agree with it, but sort of egging on South Croydon to get into the finals because it's a great story.
Oh, it is. I mean, not a lot of people would have had South Croydon in their predictions for finishing that top five.
A lot of people thought they'd get relegated.
That's right. I mean, I was one that thought they might be down that bottom 3 or 4 on the ladder. Yeah. They've really surprised. Damien Franken's done a fantastic job with that list this year, and they're on the verge now of participating in the finals for the first time.
Well, one side that's not going to participate in the Division 1 finals is East Burwood, I should say. But are they still a chance of staying in Division 1? Because last weekend they beat Lilydale, a Lilydale side that's certainly bereft of confidence at the moment. But East Burwood able to get their third victory for the season. They're now one game behind Blackburn. A fair bit of percentage though, Frosty. Is it possible? Is it possible?
It is possible, Ben. Nothing's impossible in this Eastern Football League, particularly in the final round of a home and away series. We always see strange things happen. They need to make up around 12%. The only way that's going to happen, I think another club has to do them a favour. If East Burwood can get over South Croydon and end the Doggies' hopes of playing finals, well then they need to rely on Vermont handing an absolute hiding to Blackburn. Well, that's not out of the question. I mean, Vermont, they're such a dominant team. I think the differential at the moment is around 130 points. So if Vermont won by triple figures, all we might need to see is an East Burwood victory over the Doggies, and East Burwood might be staying in Division 1 next year.
Let's have a look at how the Division 2 ladder panned out at the end of the home and away season. And Frosty, we still see Montrose, as we have done all year, on top of that Division 2 ladder. But they were handed their second loss for 2013 by a very, very good North Ringwood side. And that would have given them plenty of confidence heading into the Choose Tap final series.
Yeah, 100% right there, Ben. And North Ringwood, they'll be really buoyant after that win over Montrose on the weekend. We had a chat with their coach, Brett Moyle, on Akira EFL Sunday. He mentioned that they've now beaten every one of the other finals teams in Division 2 in the second half of the year. That's going to give them a huge confidence boost heading into these Choose Tap final series. They know that their best is good enough to match it with anybody on their day. They could be the Smoky this year in Division 2.
They certainly could be. Well, they spent a fair bit of the season in that second spot on the ladder and didn't obviously get through to that double chance. But let's have a look at the finals lineup and how it all could possibly pan out in Division 2 across that top 4. How do you think it's all going to pan out? Montrose goes straight through this weekend to the grand final?
Who knows? Montrose, we know they get shaky legs at this time of the year.
Oh, no.
We've seen it before. I don't want to cast any hoodoos on the Demons at this time of the year.
Nervy.
They should beat Mooroolbark on the weekend. I think North Ringwood will beat Croydon. That'll set up an absolutely ripper preliminary final between Mooroolbark and North Ringwood. I reckon North Ringwood are the Smoky, Ben. I reckon they could get all the way through then on grand final day. As we saw last year, anything can happen.
This is how the final ladder looks at the end of round 18 of the Division 3 season. And Frosty, we were out at Walker Park, the MCG of the EFL on the weekend, and we saw a mighty Doncaster outfit in very good form against Mitcham. And they finished on top of the ladder to give themselves a week off in the first week of the Choose Tap finals.
They were so much of a better team than when we saw them earlier in the year in the radio game against Baronia. They had a few big inclusions back in the side. Aaron Fiora had come back into the side. Nathan Thompson at full forward. He just straightens them up. He provides them a bit of power up there. They looked really very impressive on the weekend, Ben, and it's hard to see who's going to stop them, really. I mean, there's a couple of contenders right on their hammer, but they're in the box seat at the moment to go all the way.
Well, Wantirna South and Baronia might be two of those sides. They play each other in the qualifying final on the weekend. Mitcham in the Basin in the elimination final. How's it going to pan out this weekend?
It'd be hard to tip against Mitcham against the Basin this weekend. Mitcham, they've been one of the big four in Division 3 this year. They should beat the Basin. All credit to the Basin, though. They've played finals in their first year up in Division 3. There's still a chance, but I reckon the Tigers are good things. The other one I reckon's a real toss of the coin. Wanturna South and Baronia. You've got Wanturna South that love to score freely. They've got that firepower up forward. And you've got Baronia that love to strangle teams. I reckon whichever team gets the game played in their terms will come away with a win. I'm tipping Wanturna South. I've liked the Devils all year. I reckon they've got what it takes.
The irresistible force to defeat the immovable object, Frosty.
That's the one.
And this is how the Division 4 ladder looked at the end of the home and away season after 18 rounds. And Frosty, South Belgrave, the only senior team across the EFL to go through the season undefeated. And what a way to finish off their home and away campaign. A massive victory over Coldstream. I can't remember seeing a score like that between... Coldstream was 6th on the ladder going into this round and South Belgrave top. That was just an absolute annihilation.
I reckon the South Belgrave team must have been in the gym over the last fortnight of football because they've really flexed some serious muscle.
Big biceps.
I mean, you have a look at their win over Ferntree Gully a fortnight ago, who are second on the ladder, and they've backed it up with an absolute demolition of Coldstream on the weekend. So to kick 236 points in a game of football against a team that were playing for a chance to make finals, I mean, that's a huge result. South Belgrave, they're going to have the week off, and now they're going to be set up for a real chance at redemption after last year. I mean, when you have a look at it, Ben, they've only lost 4 games of football in the last 2 years, South Belgrave. All those have been at the hands of the Basin, who aren't in the competition anymore. So who knows? I mean, South Belgrave, they're set to go all the way.
Well, let's have a look at how the Division 4 final setup looks heading into this weekend. And, of course, Ferntree Gully take on Sylvan. And, of course, those two teams played on the weekend. Ferntree Gully, a good bouncing back in a very strong way with a 50-point win. And Forest Hill take on Kilsyth. Forest Hill, they've been so impressive in the past couple of weeks. They actually finished 4th on the ladder. It's a great effort by the Zebras.
Oh, it is. And I reckon the venues of this week's Division 4 Choose Tap finals will have a big say in who wins these games.
Very different in terms of ground size, aren't they? Jubilee Park to Walker Park.
They certainly are. You've got Walker Park, which is one of the smallest grounds. I reckon that'll fall right into the hands of the Sylvan Cats. They love playing on that small ground up there at Sylvan. I reckon they can get over Ferntree Gully. And I reckon that run and spread of Forest Hill will be what it takes out on Jubilee Park on those wide open spaces. I reckon they'll be able to run all over the top of that Kilsyth side.
There you have it, Frosty. Another edition of The Agenda done and dusted ahead of the Choose Tap final series across Divisions 2, 3 and 4. From a radio game perspective, we're going to be all over it because the next 4 weeks we'll be broadcasting 2 games across Saturday and Sunday. That starts this weekend. On Saturday, we're heading to Walker Park, again to the MCG of the EFL, to check out Ferntree Gully and Sylvan. Then on Sunday, we're going to be having a look at North Ringwood and Croydon. That'll be at Tormore Reserve and Baronia. 2 big games to kick off our radio campaign in the Choose Tap finals.
Oh, they're the pick of the games, I reckon. They're the games where I reckon they're absolute toss of the coins. I reckon Sylvan should get over the line against Ferntree Gully. I know you like the Eagles in that one, though,
I do
Ben.
like the Eagles, yes.
And the other game on Sunday, North Ringwood playing Croydon out there at Baronia. North Ringwood, they're coming into the finals with some momentum.
Yep.
Perhaps Croydon, the gloss has gone off their season a little bit with a couple of late season losses. Who knows? They'll be looking to bounce back. Paul Newlands will have his team ready to go. There's no doubt about that.
It'll be a magnificent first round of the Choose Tap final series right across the Eastern Football League, and we'll be all over it. Peter Baird, contain your excitement. Hold off until Saturday, and we'll see you then.
In the words of Big Kev, I'm excited.
We'll see you next week.